I'm talking 8 horses, 2 carriages, became 2 trucks. Getting my CDL is what gave me a purpose again. This is an industry that is happening everywhere, around everybody, all the time, and nobody knows anything about it. But I sort of hit a rock bottom in 2018 when I lost a really good friend of mine. At the time I was about 280 pounds. The best place to start, it's the power of one. Michael, Lombard.
Are you associated with Lombard Trucking at all?
Oh yeah, Lombard Trucking. That's my name on the internet. And Lombard Trucking, it's a great story. You know, I wouldn't be who I am without my family's name, and it's a name that actually goes back over 100 years in the trucking industry. Something my great grandfather started.
100 years, so like horses and carriages?
Horse and carriage. I'm talking 8 horses, 2 carriages, became 2 trucks in the 1920s, 1923, and was one of the largest motor carriers up in the Northeast, based out of Waterbury, Connecticut. Grew up with my grandfather, whose primary job as part owner was driver, so he's a true owner-operator, and so I'm proud to carry on that name and legacy, especially
And how are you involved in the trucking business?
So I got involved in the trucking business. I got into like the freight industry about 9 years ago. I started working in a warehouse, loaded and unloaded trucks every day, and I was finally like, you know what, it's time. And I got my CDL and I went over the road for a little over 3 years, and then came off, spent some time in recruiting, driver recruiting. I do a lot with driver fitness, and then I've been with Truck Parking Club since for a year and a half.
What is the one thing that you realized after you got your CDL that was different, or something that you did not expect about trucking?
Honestly, getting my CDL is what gave me a purpose again in a lot of my life. Like I felt as though getting my CDL was a way of honoring my family's name and legacy. Well, the biggest eye-opening thing was just about how this is an industry that is happening everywhere, around everybody, all the time, and nobody knows anything about it.
Do you think we should appreciate truckers more?
Absolutely. I mean, truckers, I said this back on July 4th, that America doesn't reach 250 years or the 250th birthday without the blood, sweat, and tears that America's drivers have been doing, from the horses and the wagons all the way into the drivers who are driving them. We've driven our way to prosperity because of America's drivers.
Now you're involved with truckparkingclub.com. It's one of the biggest problems in American trucking, lack of parking.
The government can't do it themselves. It's really hard for truck stops to manufacture and build new truck parking with zoning laws and cost. And so with truck parking, working with existing property owners, I mean, it's become one of the most effective and efficient ways of solving this problem of not having enough truck parking.
You're all about fitness and health. What is your story? How did you get into health and fitness?
100%. It's not to, and I can go on and on about this one, but I sort of hit a rock bottom in 2018 when I lost a really good friend of mine who I served in the Marines with, and at the time I was about 280 pounds, and I started to turn things around when I was working in that warehouse. And then 2 years later, when I went over the road, I read David Goggins' first book, and I needed to become a runner. And that book totally changed my perception of how I view and value my time. And so if I wasn't driving, I was walking or running. And along the way, I ended up being able to lose 100 pounds and go and completely change and transform my life.
Thank you for your service, and thank you for your inspiration. What is your one tip to truck drivers that are struggling with healthy lifestyle? Maybe they want to do it, but they don't know how to start.
Absolutely. The best place to start, it's the power of one. Pick one thing and do that until you don't even think about it anymore. And I always recommend either incorporate daily movement like walking, or don't drink your calories anymore. I'll say just switch to diet. Don't change anything else. Don't worry about food. Switch to diet. Don't drink your calories. See how you feel in 2 weeks, and you notice you feel a little bit better. Or incorporate some form of daily movement. That could be 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however much. It's more than 0 minutes. So just pick one thing, do that until you don't even think about it anymore.
Was taking part in the Truckers Olympics part of that plan to inspire others to become more healthy and move around a little more?
Absolutely. I mean, I got to lead by example. I can't come out to Iowa 80 and then just sit at the tent the whole time. I got to practice what I preach when I can and get out there and do some hard things like dragging that truck around.